Zaire, another great performance by the defense and what has to be a very emotional win for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The defense has been playing hard all year long. Obviously, we had some ups and downs throughout the whole season, but I'm proud of the guys, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way to play with any other group of grown men. So, absolutely.
You guys were in the backfield all night today. What did you see from Toledo that led you to think you could put that much pressure on them?
Well, we knew that their quarterbacks were a little bit banged up, so we knew we had to get to them. And as long as we could do that, then we knew that our guys in the back end were going to be able to cover all their skill positions. So they just, it all starts up front, and they just got home, and honestly they just couldn't stop us that tonight. And that's kudos to the D-line, kudos to the guys in the back end, and I love my linebackers, so shout out to them too.
If I told you at the beginning of the season that you would lead the team in passes defended, would you have believed me?
No, I would not.
A lot of defensive players playing their last game this season here. For you, what does it mean to go out with this kind of performance, with these fellow seniors surrounding you?
It meant a lot. It meant a lot, and I just appreciate those guys who are playing hard just as much as I was. I know I was playing like it was my last game because it was. And I appreciate them for matching that energy. And you can just tell the way every time we took the field, we knew that we had a mission to do, and we stood, And just for those group of guys, I appreciate them truly. And it's just a perfect way to wrap up my career here. So I appreciate them.
There's probably a little bit of uncertainty around who their quarterback was going to be heading into this one. Just talk about the way that the defensive coaches game planned and got you ready for whoever they brought out.
Yeah, this wasn't the first time that we actually had to prepare for not knowing who this quarterback was, so it's kind of not new. So, but as the week went on, we just kept thinking that 4 was going to play, 7 was going to play, and it didn't really matter because they're both kind of similar. Just one's a little bit more versatile, but at the end of the day, their game plan was going to be kind of similar, and we were prepared for whatever we were going to be able to see.
And some tough situations in this game, but the defense answered again and again and again. What'd you guys do to just keep it rolling all game long?
Honestly, just believing in each other and knowing that every time we go on the field, we have a job to do. And it's easy to say that, but knowing that as a group, it takes a collective group, and each of those guys just kept going out there and just playing hard, and knowing that our offense, we had to have our offense back. And like we said, it was going to be that all season. So it was kind of second nature, and honestly, just the nature of our defense just wanting to continue to hunt every opportunity we get is just the characteristic of this defense. So
just looking at very tough stretch for you guys in the middle of the season, but still finishing strong. 2-game win streak, beating up Central, taking down Toledo today. Just talk to me about just this team refusing to give in. Possibly out of a bowl. 5 and 7 can get in, but just the fight that you guys just kept playing with throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, well, every opportunity you just gotta seize it. There's many people in the world that would die to be in these positions, and to waste the opportunity to go out there and play would just be a dishonor to how you even got here. And to play for the people that came and watched us today, and the people who support us even through thick and thin. So it was just kind of something like that. And just as opportunities come, and these are people's opportunities to be able to grow as a player, grow as a person, and you guys got to seize those. So that's what just kept us coming back. And every time we bet on ourselves and believed that we could win. Obviously, each time didn't happen like that, but we learned from it, grow, and this is where we stand. I'm proud of the product that we brought here today.
Thanks, Zaire.
Thank you, guys.
Dorian, a lot of turnovers created by the defense. You get to pick yourself today. What has led to the success of turning the ball over this season for the Broncos?
I think just every day that our defense just comes to work. We're always hunting. We're led by a great coach and Coach Espo. And a lot of the turnovers come from, honestly, from our D-line. Them guys up front, they hunt all day. It makes it so much easier on the back end for us.
Got to be happy with the way you go out your final game here as a Bronco?
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't want it no other way. We could hope for more wins and all that, but regardless of the record, this is probably one of the funnest years I've had in my life so far, and I really love this.
What made this year so enjoyable for you?
Honestly, just the adversity. Starting off, they didn't have the best season at the beginning of the season. A lot of people knows that, but being able to finish strong and really being able to push through that adversity has really made it so much fun.
Talk about how the defensive coaches helped prepare you, get you ready for this, knowing that you were facing the league's highest scoring offense, and you didn't really know who their quarterback was going to be to start.
We took it the same way we take it every week. If we just get to the ball, everyone just flies to the ball, do our 111th, no matter who we play, we feel like we can stop them and get turnovers.
What does it mean to go out with 2 consecutive wins for your Bronco football career?
It means a lot. Just like what I said, starting off with the adversity that we started off at the beginning of the season, finishing the way we finished means so much, and I'm not going to forget this for the rest of my life.
What does it say about this team? Again, that adversity you're talking about, you guys faced it early, but again, just collectively, this group not giving in and finishing strong, taking down CMU, taking down Toledo today, just to finish it out.
I think this is really a resilient group. No matter what, like I said, we just come to work and just always fight. That's what I'm really going to miss that about this group, because I've never been around anything like this in my life. We're just a group of guys, just no matter what, no matter the record, no matter how many points is put up on the board, we know if we keep fighting, we're going to come out on top.
All right, thanks, Dorian.
No problem. Thank you.
Sean, great way to end the season there for you. Broncos win. You get over 1,000 yards on the season, become just the 7th player in program history to have 2,000-yard seasons. Those yards were tough to earn. Just talk about playing against Toledo's defensive front.
Toledo had a very solid defensive front. They were exactly what we expected them to be. They were very athletic, strong, mobile, all over the field. And they was wreaking havoc at some points in times, but we definitely had our times where we took advantage of their little gaps in their defense, and we scored touchdowns. So, yeah.
Talk about what you saw on that 63-yard touchdown run.
So it was like a mid-zone type of play, and once I was staying directly on my path, our wide receiver was pushing crack onto the safety, and the corner was real attached to the wide receiver, thinking it was going to be like a pass of some nature or something like that. But other than that, once I ran around him, there was nobody there. So I was just looking around, see where everybody was at, and I was like, all right, cruise set. So, yeah.
Up to that point, the longest play for the offense had been 17 yards. What kind of juice did that touchdown kind of give your group?
It gave the team a lot of energy, because like we just wasn't moving the ball well in the first half, and mentally that can definitely get frustrating, and just trying to keep that same attitude and just always like come back to the same play with the same mentality, and just having like success and like do all the hard work we put in. This is just that cherry on top, So yeah.
I don't believe that you played a snap in the fourth quarter. I think it looked like you hobbled off the field there in the second to last play of the third.
Yeah.
I guess, how are you feeling? And, was it kind of tough to have to watch from the sideline for the final 15 minutes?
Yeah, definitely, because I know I'm rely heavy on, especially offensively and just on the team regardless, just me and my energy and just me and my leadership skills. And I just have to just be more vocal. And I just strained my calf, nothing too crazy, so I shouldn't be out of commission for too long. So, but yeah, it was just made it hard to like really run and cut on it. So I didn't want to injure it any more than I have to be just going into the off season. So just trying to stay as healthy as I can. So yeah.
I think you would be eligible for one more season if you choose to come back. Obviously, you walked today, so there's a potential to go on and continue your career elsewhere. When do you think you'll make your decision as to whether or not you'll be back here next year?
I can't give y'all guys a clear day, honestly. It's up in the air with everything. Just trying to gather as much information as I can so I can make a smart, calculated decision, so I'm not, messing myself over in the long run.
What's been your favorite part of this senior season for you?
Definitely the guys on the team. I feel like this is definitely my favorite group of guys, and I feel like this is our closest team that we've had since I've been here in my freshman year. Just guys just hanging out outside of practice, things of that nature. The way our defense has been playing is lights out, and it's the best I've ever seen it. And it's great just to know that we have that, even though like offense been struggling, like we know like defense got our back at the end of the day. And that's just how it is, just on and off the field, everywhere, and in the locker room. If anybody needs something, everybody's always there for a helping hand. So, and I feel like that's what was like the key part of our team was just we focus more on that family aspect more than anything and just having fun with the game. So yeah, had a lot of fun with this team.
And with the absence of Ladarius Jefferson, you became the mainstay at the running back position. How did that feel to take on that role at the end of the season and come with 2 big upset wins to finish it out?
It felt pretty good. I definitely missed my guy Ladarius, him and his little situation. But it was definitely good to like be able to get that many carries and see how my body will react after that. Because usually I get like 15 or 17 carries, but now I'm in the 20 to 26 range, and I responded to it well. My body feels great, feels fine, and yeah, it was just another opportunity and just a chance to better myself. So yeah, I just took advantage of it.
You guys, you took a couple lumps, early on in the season. Came back from it a couple of weeks ago. You guys were 3-7, and you fought back, to finish with 5 wins on the year. What can you say just about this team's desire to just keep going out there and just never concede, never giving in?
Yeah, one thing I can't question about this team is their work ethic. Like, everybody works so hard on every level, from the head coaches down to the GAs. Like, everybody's always working and looking to get like better at something, even in losses, like this and wins. Like, it's always something to improve on, and we're always just focused on like the next thing and like what else can I do just to make myself better, to make the team better, and things of that nature. So yeah.
All right, thanks, Sean.
All right, thank you guys.
Well, Coach, fitting for a defensive output like that to be in the final game of the season.
Yeah, I mean, our defense played lights out, and they have been, and we leaned on them, and tried to run the ball, run the clock, continue to, let them make plays, and offense didn't do hardly anything. They did just enough, and but man, the turnovers and the special teams late in the game, the way Nick was putting the ball into that wind, we took, had a big conversation at halftime about what to do in the third quarter. We took the wind. Just because I felt our punter was better than theirs, and he couldn't really punt into the wind, and Nick did late, and just kept leaning on our best unit right now, and they kept showing up, and it's sometimes an ugly brand of football, but it's what we had to do to win, and couldn't be happier for these seniors. You will never forget your last game in the stadium that you played in. I can remember every single thing about mine. It didn't turn out great against Marshall. But you'll remember it, so I'm glad that this is going to be the memory that they're going to remember about Waldo Stadium.
It looked like after Nick's 14th punt, he was stretching out his hamstrings a little bit there.
Too much, yes. Yes.
Yeah, was he sore, or I guess, what did you think about, I think it was like a 42, 44-yarder that really flipped the field?
Into the wind, which was hard, right? I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the first quarter, the whole game was played on the Sealy end. And then the second quarter, the whole game was still played on the Sealy end. So we had choice in the third quarter of when we wanted that win, and we took it right away. Had to capitalize on it. Sean hit the long run. We hit the field goal, and really extended the lead. Same exact thing we did against Miami, Ohio a couple of weeks ago. And then in the fourth quarter, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to hold on, and man, the one that he kicked and Keith Jones Jr. caught it on inside the 5. The last one he kicked a little far, but I mean he was changing field position into a thick wind. You couldn't really see it at the top of the goalpost, but if you look at the huge flag, I mean it was roaring. So kudos to him. I kind of called him out after the game about what an unbelievable way to flip field position and make it harder on the number one scoring offense in our league. And that's what our defense went out there and stopped today, which is even more impressive.
Yeah, when you kind of think about that, among all the good defensive performances the team has put together, I guess what are your immediate thoughts on where this one ranks?
Ooh, I'd have to say it's in the top. I mean, because it's who you're against, right? I mean, they didn't sit anybody; they played everybody, and so they were going against a really high-powered offense, and we needed help with turnovers. They scored a touchdown. I mean, it was 7-7 if we didn't even show up on offense, So yeah, I think it was the best, and a lot of different people. We did a lot of different things well. I thought we covered well certain scenarios. We took away their first read a lot of times and made them get to number 2. And if you get to number 2 against our defensive front, I felt the same way about them too. If we didn't get our first read, if we had to get to number 2, we were going to be in trouble. And same for them. So he had a lot of guys in his face, and you can't say enough about all 3 levels of the defense and Coach Espo and the whole staff. They did a great job.
You won't be heading to Ford Field this year for the MAC championship game, and no bowl game either. But what does it mean for your team to win its final 2 games to close out the year?
Well, it just shows the fight of this group, right? I mean, they care about each other. They work hard. Things were not going our way, and the way we finished the season, we won obviously Miami. We lost one by 4, lost one by 3, and then won the last 2, and they just kept fighting. And that's, I said, half of success is showing up every single time, no matter what anyone's saying. And man, they did it, and we had to change some of the things we did on offense a little bit. It wasn't as exciting and explosive as and as aggressive as we've been, but it was playing complementary football. And we did that last couple games, got into games and found ways to win 3 of the last 5.
A couple 4th and 4 situations that you decided to punt from Toledo territory. One, I think, with 6 minutes left, another with 3 minutes left. Can you talk about those
You noticed I
decisions?
went against the book. The book was telling me to go. I don't know if the book knows our defense, and I didn't want to give them field position. It was a timing game, and every first down they get takes time away, So even if one was a questionable field goal, could have potentially kicked one, but Nick was punting the ball well. We were covering well, and when you get in those situations, you got to lean on your best unit. There's been times we've gone for it on 4th down when we were, pretty explosive on offense. So I did. I went against the book a couple times and leaned on our defense, and they showed up.
Corvin Moment played in fewer than 4 games in 2 of his 5 seasons here. Does he have the option of returning for?
Say that again?
Corvin Moment played in fewer than 4 games in 2 of his seasons here. So 17, he didn't see action, I believe. 19, I think he played in the bowl game. So I think that's
Yeah, from what we have, he's done.
no more eligibility for him.
But I will look into that. I promise you. 100%. I'm sending a text right now to figure it out. But no, he's one of our seniors, and so we will miss him and his leadership and everything he's done. I mean, that guy's been through a lot here. Played as a freshman, and then had a little academic issue, and literally, I tell a story all the time. He went down. He had to be on the scout team his second year here because he couldn't play, and man, he was impossible to block. He played corner, he played safety, he played DN. Whoever their best player was, Corbin played him. And he just set a tone for what our scout teams, the expectation is, And then obviously he started every moment since he came out for that. So just proud of him and his resiliency and the way he led the team.
And do you anticipate making any coaching changes on the offensive side of the ball during the offseason?
Yeah, we're going to look at everything. In the next week, we're going to sit down, meet, figure out. We have to get better, period, the end. Everything that's happened on the offensive side hasn't been good enough, and I gotta find a way to make it better. And I'm not against doing anything, but I'm not right now. I gotta meet and think about it and talk about it. But that is my number one goal in the offseason is to get us back to where we've been, and I'll do whatever we need to do to get that done.
Are there certain things that carry more weight, maybe like just offensive production or recruiting, or what are kind of the main factors that you're going to be looking at?
Well, we got to get older. I mean, that's a huge thing. I mean, we had senior day and we have 1 senior on offense. We have 3 upperclassmen on offense. Everyone else out there is underclassmen. They're all freshmen, sophomores. So just waiting a year, I think we're going to be that much better, But yeah, we got to go out and recruit, and there's a thing called the portal, which is a great thing. That we need to get on, and because we got to get everyone to grow and get in the weight room. And our young offensive line, they were young, they didn't play well enough, but they got to get in the weight room. Some of them were out there a little bit earlier than they needed to be, and I'm excited about some of our young skill. I really think we got some good players in there, and I'm excited to watch them continue to grow up too.
So I want to talk about Nick's performance. To quote you verbatim earlier this season, there's a word. It's called punt. It's okay.
Yes.
And I want you to talk about possession in this game and how you won a game maybe that football fans might not traditionally see a team winning, just controlling possession and finding different areas of the field through the punt game and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, we have a ton of respect for Toledo and their defense. I mean, they're arguably the best defense. I think the best ones in that locker room next door. But so we knew we were up against it. They have pretty good DBs, and so we knew that we had to lean on Nick, and we were not going to take too many chances with the ball, and we kind of had to go out there early and see how Jack was going to play. Was he going to see it well? And I thought he saw it okay. Not great. We turned the ball over once, which you can't do. So we really kind of came in at halftime and figured out we need to continue to run the ball even more heavy than we were, and count on Sean and Nick. And it was looking good until Sean got hurt. That really hurt us. He thought it was just a cramp in his calf, and it was a strain. So he was back, and then he was out, and then he was out, and then he was back. And then he never went back in. He thought he was ready, and the young kids had to go in, and they struggled a little bit. I mean, they held on to the ball, which is good, but the game was happening fast for those two guys. I wish we would have had him late, but we had Nick, and every time we had a chance to flip the field, we were covering well, we were protecting well. Really talked to that whole unit about their operation times because they're a fast team. So we had a better operation times with our punt and field goals, especially after last week. You know, some of our operation times in the block was tough, you know, and it was slow, and they responded. And punting is not a bad thing when you have a defense like ours. You have to play the game to win, right? And it's a little different than we've won here before, but you know we got to be able to make those adjustments.
And then Sean Tyler with a 63-yard touchdown to give you a 10-point lead. Little offense up to that point, but that really broke things open. How much did that play mean, and how does that change how you play defense for the rest of the game?
Huge, right? I mean, I think our offensive line did a phenomenal. We went fast on that play, and you know we were trying to get them lined up, get it. You know, we were able to hide the split of one of our wide receivers on that play, and Malik Dadon came in and made an unbelievable block on the weak side safety, which sprung him. You know, and the moment I saw that block hit, he was done. You know, and so we had that same look later on, and Buckley tripped and fell, unfortunately, as someone grabbed his shoelace as he was running through the hole. But you know, we knew when we had the win there in the third quarter, we had to get a good enough lead that we could lean on our defense the rest of the game, and that allowed us to do that. And you know, so those two units, the special teams unit and the defensive unit, they played phenomenally, and we just tried to play smart offensive football against a good defense, and we did enough to win.
Coach, looking ahead, you know, guys who might have a COVID season or, you know, graduate or whatever they're calling it these days, have you maybe had any of those conversations with guys about coming back yet? Is that, you know, the second you leave this room here to go talk with them? I mean, where are you guys kind of standing with maybe getting some of those guys back?
Yeah, we've been meeting. You know, I'm going to let them announce that. You know, from my understanding, it's most of them are coming back, which I'm excited about. They're excited about the opportunity to come back and play again, and but they'll be announcing it soon. We'll help them. Our recruiting department help them make the announcement of what they're going to do. But I think we had 15 seniors go through, and of those, I think 3 or 4 can come back. You know, so they will make their final decision here in the next week. But we've been talking about it for about 2 weeks now, and they've been talking to different people. I've been trying to get them the best information possible so they make good decisions on what they want to do. And you know, the NCAA has put a dead period in next week, so we get a chance to sit down with everybody. And so Monday through Thursday of next week, we get to have exit meetings, and then we hit the road recruiting on Friday. So we'll know a lot more in the next week. But so far, it's been a good couple weeks as far as guys wanting to come back and give it one more shot.
And with the definite guys that you do know are going to be coming back, you know, you saw glimpses and flashes here and there, but what sort of has you, I guess, just most excited about, you know, how next year's team might look and develop, you know, heading into next fall? Yeah,
I think defensively we have a chance to have a lot of our explosive players back. I mean, we're going to lose Zaire, and that's going to hurt, and I'm excited for his future and having his chance. I mean, he's one of the guys that the NFL really, they love him, and so I'm excited for him. And obviously losing Corvin and our 2 safeties, that's hard to overcome. You know, I'm excited to get Bustle back. Well, Aaron Wofford played a ton at safety this year, so I think a lot of the front could remain intact. So that could be another opportunity to put together another defense like we've had. Obviously, special teams wise, we have a great young kicker. You know, but we do long snapping wise and punting wise, we got to figure out the next step. And offensive, we got to get better. We got to bring more players in that can help us get better. The ones that are freshmen and sophomores, which we have a lot of them, they got to get better this offseason. You know, we got to put them in best positions to win. And but I'm excited about the young talented kids. There's a couple. This freshman class has come in and done a great job. Some had to play. Obviously, Palmer is the one that everyone's heard of the most, but Trayson and Nate and. You know, there's some young talent out there that's exciting for the future.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.